I am here with Kim Kirchherr. How are you doing?
Thank you for saying it right.
Did I say it right?
You
did. Yay.
Yeah.
We are going to talk about health.
Yes.
Some diet stuff. We're both already healthy.
Hydrating, I love it.
I'm going to have a little bit right now to start it off. We're super healthy. Dietitian and certified personal trainer. What do you do?
I help people get informed to make better choices for whatever their health goals are. That's the simplest way to say it.
That is a quick and easy way to say it.
Yeah.
Now that's complex though.
Yes,
And
it
it
sounds
changes.
simple, but it's very complex, but
Right.
it's not hard. It's just complex, and that's different.
That's a great distinction. If you say it's hard and difficult, then people
Yeah.
don't want to do it.
Right.
So who do you work with primarily?
So my fun answer to that is anyone who eats, I will talk with you.
We need to talk, and we are talking, yeah.
But all kidding aside, it's like everybody's trying to do a little bit better. They
Right.
want to make sure they're taking care of themselves. The conversation about health and wellness keeps getting bigger.
Yep.
And when you look at what that means for people right now, it means for themselves, their families, their communities, the planet. So it's a big conversation
Yes.
right now.
Yeah. What's your day-to-day look like then? I'm just curious.
It kind of runs the gamut. I actually just came from the theater and we were talking about social media and health and wellness. So there's so many cool vehicles to talk about topics that we're trained in. So I'm trained in health, nutrition, education for people in that space. And for me, I might be in person like I am with you right now. I might be online. I write blogs all the time. I work with different agricultural groups. So I work with retailers. So it kind of runs the gamut.
Okay.
So the fun way to talk about that is anywhere there's a food and health conversation, if I can help you,
You'll be
I'm
there.
happy to help you.
I like the idea of video as well, right?
Yeah.
Do you do
Yeah,
the
yeah.
videos and
Yep.
stuff? Yeah.
Yep.
So people can watch something and just kind of get some quick advice, or they
Yep.
can talk to you and do it more personal level as well.
Exactly, and that's such an important moment, especially in the health and wellness conversation, because when you're ready, it's a much more impactful conversation. So if you come searching for me instead of me saying, oh, I could help you.
Yes.
Oh, I see what you're eating there. I'm never gonna do that. But you know what? Here I am.
Yep.
I'm gonna make myself available. When you're ready, you can come and read, you can come and watch, you can come and talk to me.
Right.
And I think that's a huge piece of this conversation.
I think that is so important because we were talking about this earlier today, but the attention span of people and the craziness that's going on, we're getting inundated with so many things that are telling us that they can help us lose weight or do whatever. A lot of that's going to be noise because the person hasn't made the decision yet.
Well, and here's the thing, because everybody eats, food is a fun conversation to have. But passion about a topic does not replace education about a topic. So when you're having that conversation and health is a very personal, very important topic. So we want to make sure that who we're listening to has our best interests at heart, not theirs.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that question. How do you do that for such a personal thing? Because each person's idea of what being healthy is and what they want to lose, what they don't want to lose, how do you differentiate that?
I think the best thing is to keep things simple. So a few years ago, the food pyramid was replaced by something called My Plate or Choose My Plate. And it's a visual representation of how you should be eating. So about half your plate should be fruits and vegetables.
I'm gonna write this down. Hold on, My Plate? I didn't know about this.
ChooseMyPlate.gov.
Choose My Plate. Oh, there you go. That's the URL.
Yeah, it's a URL.
ChooseMyPlate.gov.
ChooseMyPlate.gov. So about half your plate is fruits and vegetables, about a quarter with protein, a quarter with grains, and then a dairy serving. So if you look at that visual, everybody knows sort of what a plate looks like, right? So it's like, okay, well, you hear all this different way of talking about stuff. Choose My Plate is based in science, and we know that people are not getting the fruits and vegetables that they need. So if you have a visual in your mind that's that simple, it's like every time I eat, I should have a balanced meal.
Yep.
Yeah, and if you've got 5 food groups, right? Fruits, vegetables, grains, protein, dairy, at least 3 out of 5 food groups for a meal. Try for 2 out of 5 for a snack. You've all of a sudden simply built in balance, and you're gonna get a mix of nutrients. So you can take an overly complex thing, super simplify it like that, and then there's other fun and subtle ways, like every time the seasons change, like strawberries and asparagus in the spring.
That's a great thing. Seasonal ideas.
Yeah.
We love that. Like if you go to stores, right?
Yeah.
We are buying into that marketing all the time. It's a Halloween cereal. Okay, I'm in. But if it's for something that's healthy,
absolutely,
that's so much better.
Yeah.
Do you? What are your thoughts on the point system and things that, like, people do a lot of diet stuff with points and, taking ideas and food and moving into the structure that they've built. Is that helpful or hurtful?
I think the structure part of that is super helpful. And some people are numbers people, some people are visual people. I think when there's the more trendy diets, you know, the ones that come and go, not the ones that are there all the time based in science and all that good stuff. I'm an optimist, so I always say, what's the good thing? If you look consistently with the fad or trend diets, most of them are asking you to eat more vegetables.
Right.
I'm good with that.
Right.
You know, hey,
it's a common thing.
Right. But to your point about that structure, we want to make sure that whatever we're using as an information filter is the right filter. Because there's so many choices. We're very lucky in this country to have an affordable, abundant food supply.
Yeah.
But it also means we've got a lot more choice to manage. So that's why I really like that visual, because it's like, keep it simple.
Yeah.
Whatever fits into those 5 buckets of food groups, that's your jam. You can figure out. There's a lot of right ways to do it. So my caution to all the diets that are out there, there's not one that's right. There's multiple that are right.
And you're not in a place or position where you can always do that.
Exactly.
That's the biggest thing for me. Like, again, I'm bringing it back to me personally, but
and that's good. It is personal.
it is personal. Is that, I'm out and about. I'm somewhere, and I can't get this thing that we had planned on.
Right.
But I like your idea where I'm visualizing, well, at least let me get that. So I'm in the food court even, right?
Yep, exactly.
And I'm like going like visually, well, I know I get my fruit and vegetable. Let me go where they have that at least.
Yeah.
And that gets me in the right position.
Exactly. And there's not a wrong way to choose within a food group. If whatever food you want, and quite frankly, if it's your birthday or a holiday, you're going to shift a little bit. And all of a sudden, maybe there's a piece of birthday cake, and it's like, well, gosh, maybe I don't need a cookie at lunch because I know I'm going to have birthday cake at dinner. So just keeping an overall day and a week in mind, and knowing like not every food choice is in and of itself the only thing to do.
Right.
It's like, how does that meal look? How does it feel in that day? Am I really getting what I need over the day? And if not, you can course correct and add those food groups in later.
Yeah.
So focusing on one thing at a time, maybe not so helpful and maybe really challenging.
Yeah.
Focusing on the day and saying, oh, I just encountered an unexpected, my favorite food in the office pantry, like somebody brought it in. I'm going to have that, and I'm going to skip this other thing that I could have tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's always that constant dance, and then you're fine.
Yeah. That's so simple in its simplicity. I have a question.
Yep.
What's the best time to evaluate or reevaluate health?
I would say whenever you're ready, and I would say you could almost do it daily. And you could almost do it by eating occasion, but don't make it so hard that you're always thinking about that, because there's a lot going on. So however you choose to eat, make sure that you're like, you know what, to be a good human, I know there's a certain amount of nutrition that I need. My body needs that. That's just true for all of us. We have to eat, right? So why not make your everyday choices the ones we know we need? Because pretty much you need a mix of nutrients, right?
Yeah.
But there's wiggle room. And even if you look at some of the dietary guidelines, the things that are based in science, we know there's things that we eat that are not just about the nutrition in them. They have cultural meaning, they have social meaning.
Oh, that's a very good point.
So,
it's part of your process, your family, or whatever it is.
Yep, and that context, we don't need to lose it. That's part of the joy of it. But making sure that we're like, let's be honest with ourselves, and if you know maybe you're not doing as best as you could, I really do like the buckets every day, sometimes, and party foods. And I always say, if you're the only one at the party, you probably shouldn't be eating that way, right? In other words, party foods every day.
Yeah.
Maybe we could tweak that a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it's very logical, and I think it's doable.
Yep.
Here's a question, because we're in the smart home area.
Yep.
How do you see the smart home and smart kitchen stuff helping you at your job, essentially?
I think it's super exciting, because over time, when I first got out of grad school, the conversation has evolved very much. And I keep saying health and wellness. First of all, you need to define that. Like, if you and I are talking about health and wellness, what you think that means and what I think that means might be two very different things.
I can tell you right now, they're two different things.
But they're both right, and they're both food for thought. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So when you look at what technology does for us, if you've got something that can help you, like, well, gosh, I really want to cook whatever protein, salmon or chicken or a pork chop or beef, whatever, but I'm not quite sure what temperature. There are now appliances and tools that are there that can help us be smarter about making those things. Yep. So you've got a kitchen confidence maybe that you wouldn't have had before. So I think when I look at it from just that end, like, we're all in our kitchen, like, I don't know how to cook that. you've got some serious help coming your way, which is awesome.
Yep.
From a dietitian standpoint, that shifts the conversation for me because I can be like, okay, what app are you using? What kind of appliances do you have?
And you're up to date on all that stuff.
Yeah, and if I'm not, you tell me, I'll figure it out and be like, okay, well, this tool that you're using can do this for you. And then maybe we can talk a little bit more about your health conditions. Maybe we can dig deeper in a different area.
Yeah.
So I think when you look at how the home is evolving, there's some incredible tools in making grocery shopping more efficient, understanding how long to store food at home, how to store food at home so you're managing wasted food. I mean, there's so many good things
Cooking
happening.
better at home.
Absolutely.
I think one of the biggest things that I've learned from a lot of the smart kitchen stuff is this ability to, you know what, I am going to cook at home and not just think about always going out.
Yep.
And when, it makes it easier, I'm more apt to do it.
100%, because we all want to feel good about it, and I feel like that's the other part of the health and wellness conversation right now. It's not just about eating, it's about the experience. I call it the surround sound, you know? So if you're cooking and it's fun, that's part of your experience.
Yeah.
It's not just about the end result of getting the food on the plate. It's, wow, I'm having a really good time doing this, and I feel really good about it.
That's so much fun, by the way.
Yeah.
I think everybody at home listening or watching here today, cooking can be really fun.
Totally fun.
And like you said, it really is part of your day. And then when you do that, oh man, the food tastes better.
Of course it does.
It just does.
Yeah, and you're proud of yourself.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what you're doing, it's frozen food month, so you can buy frozen vegetables. They're already perfectly chopped in perfect little pieces.
Yeah.
So if that's a concern, take it out. You can go buy frozen vegetables.
Yeah.
They're just as nutritious.
Yeah.
So there's all of these cool things that continue to evolve. And actually, when I was walking around the smart home show, this part, and I see a whole booth dedicated to a thermometer, like, that's mind-blowing for some people.
Right.
Because if you don't know how to cook something, you get a really good thermometer, it's going to come out perfect.
I know. I remember the olden days where you just hang that thing in there somewhere and then you're burning your hand because you're trying to move it around. And now it's like, no,
Easy
it's just
peasy.
going to tell you what's going on.
Absolutely. And that's a food safety thing, and it's a quality and eating experience thing. So a food thermometer is one of your best kitchen tools, I think.
So it's underrated.
I think so.
Yeah.
And it's so little. It fits right in your drawer.
Oh, yeah. I think we covered this, but the question was, health and wellness is personal.
Yep.
And how do we start to have the conversation because it is personal?
Yep.
I think the question we didn't answer is for customers.
Yeah.
Because we're talking on a personal level, but like you're a company trying to explain that to people, but you don't want to be preachy.
100%, and we don't all have to be everything to everyone, and I think sometimes now there feels like so much pressure in this conversation, and we just need to take a step back. And so going back to defining health and wellness, it's like oftentimes I think we start in the middle of the conversation, and it's like, let's take a second and be like, well, let's start at the beginning. So when you say health and wellness and you come at me and say, hey, Kim, I want to talk to you about this, I'm going to probe a little bit further, but like, well, what's your goal? Like, what are you really trying to accomplish here? Like, let's really figure this out, because then you can have a conversation where the two people in the conversation are having the same conversation. And there's words right now, and health and wellness, sustainability, local, like there's a lot of words right now in that space, and health and wellness is not just about the nutrition in your food anymore. I don't think it ever was, but I think there's a bigger acknowledgement now. It's like, it's literally a farm to table and beyond conversation. So for me, it's like, let's talk about the whole thing. You want to talk about what's going on the farm? Hey, you can get to a farmer now. There's farmers in social media. You can watch a video online from an actual farm. You can get credible information and see really cool stuff happening.
Right.
Same is true in the cooking space, the shopping space, the health space. Making sure you pick those credible experts. And what's really cool about technology is we have access to the right people. So sort that for yourself and make sure you've got the right experts, because you want to talk to the farmer, not somebody else. You want to talk to the dietitian, not somebody else. You can have a fun conversation about food, but when it comes to really like, let's get serious now, it's a shared storytelling thing, if you will.
And that bridges that bridges the gap too.
Yeah.
I feel like because it's part of the conversation already, then it's easier to bridge that gap.
Yeah.
I just went to the store and they had shredded cheese that I get from my tacos and beans and stuff, and there was local next to it. And it was like $8 instead of like $4. I got the local, you know? And it makes me start thinking about it at least.
And here's what's cool about that. farmers are local everywhere we live. So whatever food choice you make, you're supporting a farmer. And I think that's a critical piece of it. But to your point, wherever
Right.
you live and you pick local, you're like, that's local to me.
Right.
That's awesome too.
But it also just gets me thinking about it, right?
Totally.
And,
Yep.
and it doesn't make it as scary of a conversation. They're like, you have to lose weight. It's more like, oh no, I enjoy doing things like you said about the wellness part of it. So,
Yep.
all right, well, this has been great.